Hey guys, welcome back. In one of the previous videos, I mentioned that even though we have this unique test run name based on which we can filter which tests are for which run, wouldn't it be nice if we could have just let's say also visually see which tests are for this run, like for example these ones, and which ones are for the other runs. And I think also when we're running our test from CI, maybe we can pass some meaningful information like what is the name of the release or something else from CI, and maybe it might make sense to have two different fields, one to capture the runtime and other to capture the run name. So keeping that use case in mind, let's go back and let's try to modify our uh, test metadata to capture both these details. So we already have captured our runtime. So let's call this shift F6. Let's call this runtime and okay. And I'm going to call this as runtime, and let's add one more field which would be run name, right? And this is something that we want to capture. Now to get a random unique name, what we can do is we can use a library called Faker. So if you search for Faker Maven dependency, let's click here, get the latest dependency, Control C, Windows 1, go to POM, and let's put it in the end of list, right? And Java Faker, Control C, let's put the version, Java Faker version, and it's 1.0.2. Let's copy it here and dollar Java Faker version. Okay, let's load Maven dependencies. With this, we have got the power of Faker library with us. Let's go back, and now in runtime, actually we can, like this, we can generate a random run name, right? So let's call it run name, and we want the name to be unique for the whole run for all the test cases. So there is no need to specify it inside the test. So we want it to be final, right? And something like get triggered by, we can get a run name. So let's create another static method, private static string get run name. Yeah, and basically what we want to do is we want faker dot instance dot, let's say we pick a funny name, okay? And if we pick this funny name, this is okay. So funny name, right? And if we use this, we will get a funny name. Now it can happen that over a period of time, this name, might be, I don't know, repeated. So just to be sure, let's also add system dot current time in millis, and in fact, just to keep it readable, let's put a dash in between. I think with this we have got a name which is going to be unique. So we have runtime, and let's capture run name, which will be run name, right? So I think with this we have got both the runtime and the run name, which is unique. And let's see if we run the test now, how does it look? Let's run test. Okay, I'll test finish. Let's go to the cloud version. So now let's add, after runtime, let's add run name, project, test class, test name, status, reason, time, and triggered by, right? So now you can see it's easier to filter based on this particular name, that okay, this all these tests belong to this particular run. And if I run a new test, maybe clean test, refresh, okay, we've got a new name. So now we know that you can either filter based on the on this plus, or if you don't want to add the filter, you can also visually see that these tests are part of different run, and these tests are a part of different run. And then of course, if you want to pass on, if you want to override this run name from CI, what you have to do is you have to, similar to overriding triggered by, we can control D, have a value called run name, and in reusable workflow to run test. In fact, this command is getting very big, so let's make it a multi-line command. Let's do this, and if I copy the run name, let's say control D, and the run name could in fact be another input parameter which could be overridden by the CI, right? So whatever is provided by the CI from the trigger could be the value which is picked here. So we could call it here run name, and let's add this input. So let's keep this here, and control V, and let's call it run name. Required is false, type string, default could be CI, just to provide some value in case if it is not provided in the trigger. But now if you provide this value from CI in any of these triggers, this will be the value that will show up in the test run, right? No. Okay, so with this, if I create a PR now and on pull request tag of test to include, control D, and if I say run name, and this run name could now be something that is picked from GitHub, right? So let's say if we pick, since we are merging the pull request, if I go back, since this is for pull request, let's say if I look for pull request name in GitHub workflow, okay, and okay, if we use this GitHub event pull request title, then we can have a unique name, for every single time we create a pull request, it will pull the latest value and parse it over here, right? So let's do this. Open VS Code 3. Let's create a branch, git branch, git checkout branch, and run name, and with this Let's add POM file, run name. This is the unique trigger, test run metadata. So now we are passing both runtime and run name. We have added a new secret, which is empty by default. And in fact, we don't even need to provide this, right? Because we're not doing anything different here. Or actually we are. Let's go back to the code, get run name. So in fact, I should make a logic that if this run name is empty, so in fact, I need the same logic here, which should say that if the run name is empty, if this is empty, then we want to return faker instance. But if it is not empty, then we want to return whatever was passed from CI, right? This is what we want. Okay, now I think we are good. Cool. So let's go back to VS Code. We have now the right logic to either give a faker default name or something which is coming from CI. Add code for getting unique name, git push, Control C, Control V. Okay, let's click here and create a pull request. Let's click into actions. Okay, add run name. Okay, tests are running. Okay, thing is, we have to check the Maven command. Up, test with Maven. So triggered by this, the run name, add run name. Yeah, that's the name of the pull request, right? It's a little bit confusing, but that was exactly the name of the PR. For a moment, I was confused. And if I refresh this now, this contains the name of the PR. And since you're only running the smoke test, there's only one test, which is what you see here, right? So mission accomplished. I think this is exactly what you wanted to do. And this is what we have achieved now. So thank you. See you guys in another video. Cheers. Bye-bye.